So one of the most simple, cheap, yet effective things that you can do to lose weight, it sounds so obvious, and to be healthier is to eat more plants like vegetables, lentils, legumes, and beans. And there are a number of reasons for this, but we're going to go through the evidence. So let's do that first. There have been a few really great weight loss studies done over the years showing that those people who they don't have to count calories, but just ate a whole food plant-based diet can very effectively lose weight long term. So I'm going to repeat that point. They did not have to count their food, portion control, anything like that, restrict their food intake. They just ate until they were full, a whole food plant-based diet, which is whole foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, legumes, and they avoided processed food, refined foods like bread, soft drinks, oils, processed meat, and in fact most meat in these studies, and dairy. For most people, some healthy unprocessed oils are good, like olive oil, flaxseed oil, avocado oil, etc. Keep in mind that they keep them down, and we especially avoided processed oils. There's a great study, which I'll put the link below to, called the Broad Study, done in New Zealand in 2017, that showed that those people who were put on a whole food plant-based diet and did not restrict their calories or plates or whatever, lost an average 11.5 kilos, and some losing up to 28 kilos in 12 months, which is really, really great. And the great thing about this is because it did not have a restrictive diet component, people could actually stick to it because they weren't feeling hungry all the time. We also know that having diets high in vegetables, nuts, seeds, and slow carbohydrates is really good for you in the long term. Studies from over the world on over 450,000 people over 25 years showed that diets high in refined carbohydrates like sugar and bread are bad, and diets low in whole food carbs are bad. And the healthiest is a diet that's around 50% whole food carbohydrates like fruits, berries, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, quinoa, brown rice, buckwheat, sorghum, and so on. They also found that dietary patterns favouring animal-derived protein and fat were associated with higher death rates, whereas those that favoured plant-derived protein and fat intake from sources such as vegetables and nuts, because vegetables do have protein in them, nuts do as well, etc., were associated with a lower death from all causes. In fact, multiple studies over the years have shown that this way of eating, called the whole food plant-based way, it actually reverses types of heart disease and cellular aging, which is the only diet shown to do this in good quality studies. And so it really is a winner for many reasons. Now, the other good thing about this plant-based sort of whole foods is that per calorie, they keep you really full and satisfied. So you may have noticed that after eating a biscuit or a bit of bread or a sugary drink, that you feel hungry again like 30 minutes later, right? And that's because those foods are low in fiber and protein, which normally is what makes you feel full. So in this picture, there's a variety of different types of foods, each representing a certain number of calories. Each stomach has the same number of calories in it, but obviously some stomachs are much more full and stretched than others. So it's an oversimplification. There's more to feeling full than simply what you're seeing here, but it does serve a purpose. If your 500 calories a day is lots of plant foods, high in protein and high in fiber, but low in calories like vegetables, fruits, legumes, beans, lentils, you're going to feel much more satisfied and full. If you have 500 calories of biscuits and oils of meat, you're probably going to feel pretty hungry again pretty soon. Now, sometimes I come across people who say, I don't like vegetables. Now, I'm going to assume that you have had experience of overcooked, mushy, and boring vegetables then. And I can understand then why you don't like them. I don't like boring, mushy, horrible vegetables either. But let me tell you, that's not a fair comparison. Now, if I overcooked a steak, made it really tough and burnt and plain, I bet you wouldn't really like that either, especially if that was your first experience of it. Hence, I really encourage you to eat some properly cooked, tasty vegetables. Mix the colors, flavors, fresh, vibrant, beautiful. Add in some spices, ginger, herbs, lemon juice, or something like that, and make it such a beautiful, tasty meal. Just try it. I put some recipes and meal plans below or in the next activity, and you can play and toss and turn with what you like. There's a few simple practical steps here. First is to not count calories, but simply to the most meals, just simply increase the amount of vegetables of your food, even if you're going to add meat or whatever. Reduce the amount of pretty much everything else, and so your overall quality of the food is still, and quantity is still satisfying you. Now, it's a simple thing to do, but it's really effective. So please give it a go. Check out the resources, recipes in the next link.